Yo, what's going on? In today's video is going to be dope because we're going to look at a throwback book. It was one of the first two or three books that I've ever read on finances, the good old Millionaire Next Door book. And I wanted to talk about seven things that's identified in this study of millionaires that are traits, characteristics that most first generation millionaires have in common. Wealth is defined by you. You define your own terms of wealth. So, $1 million may be a threshold, 2 million. It may be a quality of life and not a particular amount. I'm a licensed attorney. This isn't legal or financial advice. Got to get the disclaimers out the way so the folks at the Bar Association are cool. Just in case somebody come up saying DFD gave me some legal advice on the internet, I'll be like, nah, fam, look at the disclaimer. Back in the day, this book was written. It was called The Millionaire Next Door. It was really the first official study of millionaires, everyday millionaires. What is an everyday millionaire? Well, somebody who wasn't born into wealth, somebody who didn't receive a big ass inheritance, somebody who pretty much got it from the mud, so they say, but somebody who pretty much hustled, grind, did it on their own to become a millionaire by net worth. We're talking about the total value of all their assets when you subtract their liabilities. And that book identifies seven key characteristics that these millionaires in this study had. So let's go ahead, go through them, talk a little bit about it. The first one is probably the most important. Live below their means. Unequivocally, all of the millionaires surveyed stated that they live below their means. Why is that important? Because how the hell you gonna make a million and spend a million? If you make 500, spend 500, or if you more like normal how it is in most Western cultures, if you make 100, spend 120 because you put 20 percent of that 100 you made on debt. That's how most people live. But in order to have access, in order to be able to invest, you have to be able to live off less than what you make. And I think the biggest takeaway from this number one rule, and this is really the golden rule, is living below your means requires you to have a certain amount of discipline. That discipline requires you to be able to identify what's a necessity, what's a need, what's a want. It requires you to be able to identify how long you can go without certain things, to be able to build up that muscle to have delayed gratification, to know that this is something that I need, but is not essential. I can work around it. I don't have to spend the money to get it right now. That's point number one. Point number two is interesting because it's something that not only is a foundational point when you're talking about finances, but overall in life. Everyday millionaires allocate their time and energy and money efficiently. They don't do things off of the cuff. They're not really freestyling when they do things. When they make a maneuver, they have a plan, they have a goal, they have steps that they want to get to. Every move that's made, every step that's taken is something done strategically to get to a specific point where they want to be. So they're really cognizant of the steps that they're taking. They're cognizant of where they're directing their energy, their outputs, and trying to move efficient in life and when it comes to their financial security. Okay, the next thing also, all of these are important, but this is another one that really dives deep, not into the numbers of money, but the mentality of money. Millionaires understand that financial independence is more than social status. It's way more important than social status. What does that mean? They understand that they have a big picture. They're not planning for 2 months down the road, 1 month down the road. These people are looking years down the road. They're looking at years down the road when they got a specific goal that they want because they understand that me having financial independence in the long term is far more important than me showing off a social status or trying to show off a social status. What does that mean in layman's terms? They're not impressed and don't give a damn about what people think. And for me personally, I think this is easier as you get older. In your 20s, maybe in your early 30s, you really care about what people think. You really try to keep up with the Joneses. But oftentimes, the older you get, you realize that I don't give a damn about what everybody else doing because I need to focus on me. If I'm too worried about what everybody got going on over there, you know what that means? It means I'm not in a position to get the things that I need to get done. Okay, next up on the list, and this one is important, is hey, everyday millionaires, their parents did not provide economic outpatient care. What does that mean? Hey, everyday millionaires are people who are independent. They aren't grown ass adults who are living off of their children. It was a study out there that recently said in today's day and age, right now, today, that parents are paying almost, it was crazy. It was something like almost 1,100 bucks per month for the cost of their adult children. Now, those numbers can be skewed because you could have some kids who are in college. We understand that emergencies come up. Hey, there's nothing wrong with going back home when things get hard. But the bottom line is that people who are everyday millionaires, they are independent. They don't rely on their parents to take care of themselves. That doesn't mean that they don't have to deal with hardships, that they don't have to ask with help. But those are one offs and really developed from unique circumstances, job loss, health situations. For the most part, these people can stand on their own 2 feet. They don't have to ask anybody for nothing, and they pride themselves on not being a burden to their parents. The next thing is right in line with that is everyday millionaires. They raise children who become adults who are self-reliant. Why is that important? Because it's going to be hard as hell for you to obtain wealth if you got taking care of your grown-ass kids. Hey, sometimes you got to put your kids in a position to be able to eat, to be able to stand up on their own. What's the old saying? Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Give him a fish, he's going to eat for one day. Well, it's our obligation to teach our kids to fish, to teach our kids to be able to be productive adults, to be able to make a living in a way that's honest, in a way that's legal, and in a way that, can provide for their family. Now, again, like I said, we all know stuff happens. No one situation is perfect, but far and far between the statistics. But the statistics show that everyday millionaires, they don't rely on their parents for any damn thing, and their kids do not rely on them. Think about it. That's always one of the things I say is very valid to me. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. I don't want to be a burden on my parents, and I damn sure don't want to be a burden on my children. And so everyday millionaires follow that same mantra, follow that same mindset. They make sure that they're self sufficient and they make sure that they raise their children to be self sufficient as well. Next up on the list, we only got a few more. Hey, number six is they are proficient in targeting market opportunities. What does that mean? Proficient in targeting market opportunities. Think about it. Everyday millionaires aren't the people who are sitting there watching every stock and the ticker symbols and reading up on all the companies. A lot of them are 401k millionaires. They invest in their IRA, their 401k, their government TSP. What this really means, and when you break it down, is that everyday millionaires put themselves in a position to be able to capitalize when there is an opportunity in any market. So, if the housing market crashes, everyday millionaire, because they've been stacking away their money, because they got emergency funds, because they got a little bit of reserve capital, they're in a position to capitalize on that downturn market where they can use that to also increase their economic status if they make that investment. So it's pretty much opportunity money. You can have all the opportunities in the world when it comes to investing in the market or real estate or whatever the financial market you want to look in. But if you don't have the capital to take advantage of that opportunity, your ass can't make no damn money. So everyday millionaires, they put themselves in a position to be able to have capital to take advantage of those opportunities in the market when they come up. And they are able to identify those opportunities as well. That could be from independent research, from doing studies. That could be from hiring a financial professional to help them along their journey. Everyday millionaires, they choose their occupation strategically. Everyday millionaires are not going to college, are not taking trades just to do something that they think that they want to do. They put a lot of thought in the type of major that they want to have. They put a lot of thought in the type of career that they want to have. Why is this important? Because your career path, which you decide to major in, which you decide to pick up a trade in, is a direct impact on your ability to earn income. And your number one indicator of wealth is not how much or the return on your investment, is how consistent are you at investing. And in order to invest, you got to have access, so you got to have capital. If you got a little excess funds, you don't live off more than what you make, you got excess money to be able to invest and take advantage. So everyday millionaires have historically shown that they're real strategic about what they want to do. I would tell y'all right now, back in the day, your boy used to have hoop dreams. And I'm so glad I don't or didn't. One, I'm glad I'm relatively short. Well, I'm not a like 5'2" or 5'7" or nothing like that, but I'm not 6'8". But I kind of think about it this way. The career path that I chose of being an attorney, that is something that I can do until I'm 80 years old if I elect to do something. That's something that requires a lot of this, but doesn't require a strong physical toll on me that can just, make me tired. It can impact my health. So, those are kind of the things that I thought about. Even when I was majoring in criminal justice, and my professors were up front. They was like, "Yo, if you're gonna major in criminal justice, you need to be real strategic with your next steps after you graduate with a bachelor's. If you want to have a chance to make real income, you probably need to go to law school." Now, I already had law school kind of in the back of my mind because Mom Dukes drilled it in there, but it was dope of them to give me that dope dose of reality. Like, yo, if you do this field and you don't go to law school, this is what your economic situation is likely going to be. And, I was strategic about the career path I chose. I chose something that I felt confident that I would really enjoy that type of work, but it's something that I can do pretty much indefinitely as long as my mind's sharp and nobody getting on my goddamn nerves. Yo, that's it for this video. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about these 7 key characteristics of everyday millionaires. And go ahead, drop one if you can think of additional one, or you can research and find one that should be on the list. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and the bell notification. Yo, and if you enjoyed this video, check out the video on the screen. There's going to be more content related to finance and attorney reactions.